Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, call 920-435-2973 or visit pl-259.com. And by ICOM. Heard it? Worked it? Logged it. Visit www.icomamerica.com/amateur for more information about ICOM radios.
It's Ham Radio with Neil Rapp. Here we go. Welcome to Ham Talk Live. Call in, let's talk. Neil's your guy. Ham Talk Live. Here we go on Ham Talk Radio.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's time for Ham Talk Live. It's episode number 176. SMC Fest with Craig, K9CT, recorded live on Thursday, August 8th, 2019. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight, we're joined by Craig Thompson, K9CT, and we'll take your calls live in just a few minutes. Last week, Mark Brown, N4BCD, was here on the show to talk about the Huntsville Ham Fest. And if you missed the show, you can listen anytime at hamtalklive.com or on your favorite podcast app or YouTube, or you can catch the rebroadcast on WTWW. That's 5085 AM, Saturday evenings at about 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So get your contesting questions ready to go. And we're going to talk about the Society of Midwest Contesters and SMC Fest tonight. If you're listening to us live on Thursday night, you can give us a call in the interview segment, or after the interview segment, rather. In the last segment of the show, you'll be able to call. It's 812-NET-HAM1, and I'll give you that number again in a second, so you can write that down and have it ready. It's not time to call just yet, but it will be after we talk to Craig for a while. So again, the number is 812-NET-HAM1, 812-638-4261, and you can also tweet us. It's Ham Talk Live on Twitter, and we'll be checking those throughout the night as well. So I'll be back with Craig right after this word from ICOM right here on Ham Talk Live. Heard it, worked it, logged it. It's time to get the transceiver that is best suited for your lifestyle. ICOM offers a variety of high performance and innovative products. Make the most of contest season with one of these ICOMs today. The IC7610 is the SDR every ham wants. This high-performance SDR has the ability to pick out the faintest of signals, even in the presence of stronger adjacent ones. The IC7610 is a direct sampling software-defined radio that will change the world's definition of an SDR transceiver. It has RF direct sampling, 110 dB RMDR, independent dual receiver, and dual digicel. And the IC7300 is changing the way entry-level HF is designed. This high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design will far exceed your expectations. With RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and SD memory card slot. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
Coming to you live from the glass enclosed Faraday box, here's Neil Rapp with more Ham Talk Live.
Thanks to ICOM America for bringing Ham Talk Live your way each and every week. And be sure to check them out at the Huntsville Ham Fest here in a week or so coming up. So don't miss that. And we'll tell you more about ICOM a little later on. Ham Talk Live's on the air every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here at hamtalklive.com. And my guest this evening is Craig Thompson, K9CT from Tivoli, Illinois, which is not too far from Peoria. And Craig is an extra class license holder and has been a ham for 49 years. He has a degree in electronics engineering technology from Bradley University, as well as worked toward an MBA and serving as operations manager and vice president of a small company. Craig started his own business in 1980. Thompson Electronics Company is a solutions provider for security, communications, audio, video, and fire alarm systems for industrial, government, education, hospital, and religious markets in central Illinois. And his combination of ham radio and electronics career has allowed him to build an impressive contesting station and participate in several DXpeditions. And Craig is a member of the Society of Midwest Contesters, which sponsors SMC Fest that we're going to be talking about tonight. So, Craig, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you very much, Neil, for hosting this discussion and hosting me again. I appreciate it.
And I should mention to our listeners that Craig's cutting out a little bit, and it's my fault. I've been working on this system, and we finally got Skype working to where you can call in now and got all this stuff going, and then the Windows update comes out, and I've had nothing but audio issues tonight and just finished up Newsline production. So we're running a little behind, and so I apologize if it cuts out. Hopefully it'll get a little better as we go, but it's understandable. It's just kind of annoying right now. So hopefully that will do a little bit better as we go here. But Craig, tell us a little bit about the history of the SMC Fest.
Well, it started out very informally, and what I did, I actually manually turned down my microphone level here. And if this doesn't work, we can switch to CW, I suppose. But anyhow, SMC has been around since about 1985. We celebrated that, obviously, 30 years, just a few years ago. And we're very excited about that. The club is very active. We have over 300 members. In fact, it always surprises me. Every week we get new members. And I think that speaks to the vitality of contesting and, I guess, our club, too. But SMC Fest has grown out of an informal get-together that was hosted once a year at K9CT, and we used to call it the ZoFest. And he would have a barbecue and host it at his home, and later his business. And then we decided, well, we have so many people coming, maybe we ought to formalize this a little bit. So we, about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe a little longer, created what we call SMC Fest and started hosting it at hotels and making it an all-day thing. And it's been very successful. Actually, it's grown way beyond our expectations. And in fact, this year we were fortunate. We were named a ARRL sanctioned event, specialty convention, and which is really very nice. And we had some speakers coming in actually from ARRL, W9JJ, who is in charge of the contest area, among other things. And then we also have N9ADG coming, who actually does the contest update newsletter that comes out every other week from ARRL. So besides the ARRL officials that'll be there, it's really kind of a nice thing to, be christened that, I guess, by the ARRL, or, asking for that and receiving that was very nice. So this year, we will definitely have in excess of 100 people there. Most of these people are fairly serious contesters. And one of the things that we try to do at this event is talk about things that you may not hear or read about in normal contest literature. And so we have asked people to speak on a variety of subjects, which is quite interesting to people. Just so you also know, SMC also sponsors a contest university, and it's in conjunction with K3LR and the contest university at Dayton at the Hamvention. And ours has been held every year the day before W9DXCC, which is just a month from now. So we do some training that's repeated every year, and any new member or anyone that wants to improve their skills, we actually have an event that I'd recommend people attend if they get the opportunity. So this event is, you're going to learn a lot. I guarantee you somebody coming here will leave with several new things. And besides the networking that ham radio operators love to do anyhow, you'll find that it's just a really fun event to go to. And I tell you, in the past years, some of the most interesting conversations have been some of our members going to the front in a forum setting and discussing topics and how they do it, and not debating, but each person talking about how they do a certain thing, like operate SO2R and that sort of thing. So the room is absolutely silent when those conversations are going on, and the questions are really very, very good. So that's the sort of an atmosphere we have. I think that the program that we have this year, I briefly touched upon that, was Brian N980G, who actually lives in Washington, the state of Washington, and he's the editor of the ARRL Contest Update, is going to speak. He put together a really interesting presentation. It's entitled "How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Sweepstakes." And he says he's presented this before, and people really like it. So he's looking forward to making that presentation to us. And besides that, he's from the area, and so we're glad to have him back. And then he will also briefly cover what it's like to do the ARRL Contest Update. So that's just an example of one of the programs that, one of the subjects. I mean, we can go through the whole thing if you'd like, Neil, as to
we will
who's going to speak about what.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a great event that, has grown over the years, and like a lot of fun ham radio events and successful ones, it just grew from a few people getting together and throwing some ideas out, and all of a sudden it comes alive, and that's always great when things work. And in fact, I found the audio conflict. We got it fixed. So it was a driver conflict. So I was able to get it right after you started talking. So we got that taken care of. But yeah, let's take a look at this year's SMC Fest. Let's run down who's going to be talking and about what, and what you can learn by taking a day and going to SMC Fest.
Well, sure. I guarantee there's going to be more talked about than what I'm going to cover, but we have formal presentation on lightning protection in the shack. We have a Wyatt, that, by the way, that's by Randy NA9RB. Then Wyatt AC0RA, many of your listeners probably know who he is, because he's been doing some very successful roving in contests and actually winning the contests. And he's just a young guy. Definitely younger than I am. I would say he's not that young. He has built an impressive roving station. He's going to actually talk about that. And I also asked him if he would speak about grid petitioning. He did him and Dave KG5CCI did just a super job this year in the 6-meter east season, and went out into the western states and went to some very rare grids, and they did just a super job of doing this. And so they're going to talk about he's going to talk about all of the roving issues, how to set up a station, how to be successful, and how to make that happen. I think everybody's going to find that fascinating. Then we actually have a time set aside for some ARRL leadership people. Our director, vice director, and the section director will also speak, but only about really contest-related things, and they usually come and they bring awards. Like if SMC has won a gavel, they'll hand it out at the time. And I am also a member of the contest advisory committee for the ARRL, and I'll be speaking about the things that the CAC is doing. And the CAC in the last year and a half has become quite active. They've become activists. And actually, we've had some results from just actually the last ARRL board meeting that we'll be able to discuss at that meeting. So we're very happy with that. And then we've got a person that's been very successful. He's going to talk about SO2R from a city lot and how he has successfully set up a station. And that'll be by CJ, WT2P. And a lot of people know him, especially on CW, but he's also been a team operator at my station. He's a great guy and really has done a super job setting that up from his home. And then Jim, N9JF, who a lot of people would know maybe from county hunting, but he's also been very successful contesting in CUSO parties and traveling around from state to state and going, during the CUSO parties and activating different counties. And he's going to speak about how he does that, and because he's very, very good and quite successful. One of the writers for the NCJ, and also he has his own ham radio business, Unified Microsystems, is Gary K9CT, and he's going to be speaking about a subject a lot of guys that don't have time to do full-time contests will probably really appreciate, and it's called maximizing your part-time scores. And I think a lot of people will appreciate that. And then Bart, W9JJ, who's actually from Wisconsin, but is now in the leadership team at ARRL, is going to be out speaking about ARRL and contest updates because they've made a lot of changes and improvements, and he's going to be discussing that and going through how it all works. And of course, I will be the moderator, and we'll have some comments and remarks as the time goes on. But that is a full program, and I guarantee you, if you look on our website on w9smc.com and go to the SMC Fest link, you'll see actually what some of the attendees have even said, that we've tried to make this something that's just as good or better than a contest forum, except that it's all day. And I think everybody leaves going, this was really a full day. In fact, we have to do we really work at trying to keep it on schedule. But boy, we fill a day with a lot of very good discussions, and everybody is very quiet and they pay attention. There's a lot of very interesting information being passed along, Neil.
Yeah, it's always great when you can get people together and share ideas. And you mentioned Contest University with K3LR, and I've been fortunate enough to go to that for several years. And these events like this are just great, and you always run out of time. There's never enough time to do everything you want. So this is a packed day of great information. So for people who aren't familiar with it and want to find more information, you just gave out the website, but tell them how they can go and how they can register and or are you full? How would people go to this, and is there any way that they can participate without physically going there, or is streaming not available right now?
Yeah, we've preferred not to do streaming, and because we really want people to attend. Whenever you do something like this, and I'm sure everybody that's listening totally gets this, when you make an arrangement with a hotel to host something, you have to guarantee them rooms sold, and you have in the restaurants and everything that you have to guarantee so many meals, and so we have to make sure we have as many people attend as possible. And what we've done this year, last year we were very near capacity for the room setup. We had 108 seats and we had 107 attend. And so we had them change the configuration this year so that we can actually hold more attendees. But people are welcome to register. We're nearing capacity, so the sooner the better, obviously. The 24th is not really that far away. But if you if you go to the our webpage, w9smc.com, and you just click on SMC Fest, you'll be able to actually see who's attending, where it's at, where to make a reservation, and also how to register it. Just click all the way through, and it's very easy. There's a PayPal link, and you just fill it out and you're done. So it's quite simple. We actually offer, and we actually have some students attending. SMC will underwrite anybody under the age of 25, and so we actually have some attendees that are younger than the age of 25. And as a side note, SMC started the North American Collegiate Championship in association with the NAQP, and we will be making presentations to the winners of the NAQP RIDI to Bradley University, W9JWC, and also for NAQP sideband to Purdue University, K9IU, and we'll have representatives from both universities.
Okay, now living in Bloomington, Indiana, I'm going to hear about that because you said K9IU and Purdue.
Right.
Oh, so
that's not
Purdue is W9YB.
Yeah, you're right. I'm wrong. I said that wrong. It's K9 University. What am I saying? I'm sorry. I should know better than that. But anyhow, K7JOE is their leader there, I guess, advisor, and he will be there. And he's been advising them, and he's a member of SMC. And so he's going to be receiving, along with his contingent, the Indiana University. And I got to tell you, there's an article coming out in NCJ about how they battled to first place against Georgia Tech. And there's all of these university competitions are online. I mean, they're obviously on the air, but you can watch the battle, the contest as it goes along between the universities. And it's just a lot of fun. And so I think what we're trying to do is attract young people, and I know you do too, Neil, to contesting in particular. And so we're doing everything we can to encourage these sort of activities and to invite young people to these activities so that they can do it. So that's another positive little thing that's going to happen at SMC Fest this year.
Yeah, we're very proud of our university clubs and our school clubs in the Illinois and Indiana regions here. We're glad that Bradley, your alma mater, was able to pull off the win, and then just cross the road and down the street a little bit at K9IU, and Joe, K7JOE, does a lot of work with my high school club here, and we kind of help each other. So congratulations to Joe for that, and we've got the president of their club is a former president of the high school club that I sponsor. So we're proud of them, and we're glad that SMC has put together these competitions within the other contest to get the colleges a chance to battle back and forth. And it's been a lot of fun to even just sit back and watch the scoreboard. So it was a pretty exciting time. So thank you for that. Well, we're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we're going to take your calls and your questions, and we'll talk some more contesting with Craig Thompson, K9CT, right after this word from Tower Electronics, right here on Ham Talk Live.
Is this getting serious?
I think so.
Well, how do you feel about it? Just imagine if you hadn't run out of PL259s.
Just imagine if your connectors weren't from Tower Electronics.
Consider the sophisticated quality of connectors from Tower Electronics. Their silver-plated end connectors are so good, they've even been used on the International Space Station.
I'm not so sure why I ever used any other PL259s.
Mine are better. Besides, you deserve the best. You know I love you.
Don't be caught without PL259s. Visit Tower Electronics at a Ham Fest near you. or visit them online anytime at pl-259.com or call 920-435-2973. They also have ham sticks, mobile antennas, and meters too. See the whole catalog. Go to pl-259.com. Tower Electronics, the ham's dime store since 1978.
Join the conversation. Give us a call at 812-NET-HAM1. That's 812-638-4261. Now, here's more Ham Talk Live. We're not sure what's up with the fifth dentist, but 4 out of 5 dentists recommend listening to Ham Talk Live.
Thanks to Tower Electronics for sponsoring the show tonight. On the Hamfest tour again this weekend. They'll be in Huntington, West Virginia on August 10th. Then next weekend at Huntsville, Alabama, August 17th and 18th. Then it's off to Shelby, North Carolina, August 30th, 31st, and September 1st. And Findlay, Ohio, September 8th. And then over in Craig's territory, it'll be the Peoria Superfest, September 14th and 15th. But you can visit them wherever you are and whenever you want at pl-259.com. Ham Talk Live's on the air every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here at hamtalklive.com. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And it is time now for your calls. So if you have a question for Craig, give us a call at 812-638-4261. Now is the time to call. 812-NET-HAM1, 812-638-4261. And I'll jinx it and say the phone lines have been fixed. Well, we found the firewall problem and the Skype problem, so dare I say, it's been fixed. So give us a call, 812-638-4261. You can also tweet us. It's at Ham Talk Live. We'll be watching that. And if you're listening to us on WTWW or the podcast edition, you're not going to reach anybody because the show's already over if you're listening to us that way. So Craig, we'll talk a little bit about contesting here while we're waiting on some of those questions to roll in. And one of the things that I really enjoy about SMC is kind of the motto or slogan of contesting from the black hole.
Oh,
so
yes.
What are the challenges of contesting from the black hole that is the Midwest?
Well, I guess it always depends on which contest. There's really two major types of contests. There's the DX contests and there's domestic contests. And let's take NAQP or sweepstakes, which are domestic contests. You're right in the middle of the country. So which way do you aim your antenna? And so you can imagine the difficulty of competing with the coast stations or the border stations as they cut across the country. So it's more of a challenge. You have to have antennas pointed in different directions, and you have to be so cognizant of which way the band's open and when. Not that somebody on the coast doesn't, but generally if they're aimed at the population areas, they don't have to move their antennas. But on a DX contest in particular, and of course we won't get any sympathy from the West Coast guys, but our propagation to Europe is an hour and a half after it hits Maine, or Massachusetts. So they got always an hour and a half head start on us by the time it opens. And unfortunately, the auroral oval will sometimes slide down and it'll provide some absorption between us and Europe. So when we do get the chance to finally get an opening, the signals may not be very strong. So I guess that's the challenges of the black hole. The physics don't lie. So, but, we have a lot of fun and we're competitive and we just do the best we can. So that's what we mean by that. And anybody that's from this area knows exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm sure you do too.
I do.
Yeah. So, we're real proud if we can make a top 10, or we can be competitive in the category that we happen to choose for a contest. So it's just like anything, you're really competing against yourself. And you just work on your own skills to become a better operator and improve your own station and maybe your strategy and decision making during a contest. Those are all very good skills that people learn when they're in contests.
812-638-4261 is the telephone number to call, so give us a call. 812-NET-HAM1 if you have a question about SMC Fest or contesting in general. Give us a call, 812-638-4261, or tweet us at Ham Talk Live. We're talking with Craig Thompson, K9CT from Trevoli, Illinois. He has a nice big contest station over there, and he's moderating the SMC Fest coming up later this month. So give us a call or give us a tweet, and we'll talk about that. And a little preview, next week we're going to be talking about building a modest contest station. Fred Denon, WW4LL, and Steve Narducci, W9SN, will be here. And we're going to talk about building a station next week. So we've got a little contesting thing going on here for a couple of weeks, as we do from time to time. So hope you can tune in for that one. So Craig, what's your advice to contesters? And maybe there's some of those that, we were talking earlier about one of your forums is going to be about the part-time contester, the casual contester, and maximizing those scores. What's your advice to people who are out there, trying to deal with the band conditions the way they are right now and trying to contest?
Well, there's a contest every weekend. So I'd recommend that you stick your toe in the water and try it. And the point of all of this, of course, is not only is it fun, but it makes you a better operator and a better understanding of ham radio, the physics of it, and also the station building aspect. So there's many ways to be satisfied doing this. With the band conditions the way they are, for just normal reg tuning and things like that, you'll find that the bands are always open for a contest. And you laugh, but there's a lot of truth to that.
Oh, there is a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, we had NAQP ready, and 10 and 15 meters were open because of E-skip. And the big delight at the end of the contest in all the comments was, wow, 10 and 15 meters were open. And no one would have known that if it wasn't for activity in a contest. So it was just, so I'd recommend that you always stick your toe in the water and give this a try. But probably the most important thing, I think, is try to find a club of similar interested people that you can network with and learn from them and find out what contests that they like to do and participate with them, because that's there's nothing better than being part of a team, which is what a contest group is, and sharing ideas among yourselves, which is what we do at SMC Fest. But I got to tell you, joining a club like SMC, and most other clubs have similar things. We have a group reflector, and it's probably where most of our value is. If somebody's having trouble with software or radio or anything, they put it on the group, and you got so many people that will help you out just within minutes of your question. And I've seen all kinds of discussions from, 160 antennas to, how do I do a QSO party, or how do I do FT8 or FT4 or whatever, and get help right away. That's where the value is just getting quick answers that you just can't find very quickly by yourself. So the networking aspect is fantastic. So I'd recommend that to anybody that wants to try it. Number one, it should be fun. And the other thing is this: we've got online scoreboards now too. So when you check it out, check out the contest online scoring. VA2WA hosts one up in Quebec that is really good, and you can compete against your peers and see how you're doing in real time. It's really a lot of fun. I guarantee you that if you thought you were going to sit down for 30 minutes, you might be there for an hour, or an hour and a half once you start seeing the real-time scoring. Almost everybody says that. It just makes them want to operate more once they see the real-time scoring that goes on. I wanted to mention one other thing that the SMC is involved in, and that is club competition with PVRC and the NCCC, Northern California Contest Club, and the Potomac Valley Radio Club. They're really great contest clubs, and they're, I would say, 3 of the biggest in the country. There's other contest clubs, but we decided to compete against each other each year, and we have a trophy that is won each year by one of the clubs. And so we use the NAQP RIDI, phone, and CW contests that are held in the winter and right now, in fact, to compete against each other. And boy, I tell you, every club member gets busy, and it's just a lot of fun. And we have real-time scores. You can see the scoring. And right now, the last 2 years, SMC has won it. That's the first time that's ever happened, that it was back-to-back. But PVRC right now is just really they really get the guys out. And so SMC is battling it with PVRC right now to see if we can retain the trophy. And that has added a lot of fun to, I can guarantee you, both clubs. So I'd recommend getting involved in a club because I think you'll just have a lot of fun.
And if you're interested in the live scoring that Craig's talking about, I'll refer you back to Ham Talk Live episode 149 when we had those guys on, and tells you all about the online scoring. And it really does add a new element to things. So if you didn't catch that episode, go back and catch that one. It's pretty interesting how that all works and how it changes the game. It really does. 812-638-4261 is the phone number if you have a question for Craig Thompson, K9CT. We're wrapping things up here shortly, but if you have a question, give us a call or send us a tweet at Ham Talk Live. I'll check that again momentarily. And as long as I'm slipping plugs in for things, there's another good resource out there that Scott K0MD and Fred K4IU will be happy that I say this, and that's the National Contest Journal.
Oh yes, they're actually sending 50 magazines to our SMC Fest for us to hand out. So your timing is excellent. I should mention that I don't do this in a vacuum. I've got a great support. I've got a board of directors that do a lot of the legwork on this. Just are so helpful in so many different ways. So I couldn't do this. We couldn't do this SMC Fest without everybody helping. Somebody's got to be the local contact for the hotel. Somebody's got to track down, prizes, and we have somebody making the trophies and the plaques for the awards and that sort of thing. There's just so much that has to be done. So please look on our website and see you'll recognize every call on there. I guarantee you, NV9L, WB9 Zulu, K9ZO, just some of the guys that are on the board. So I don't mean to take any credit for this. They do a lot of work, and you'll find if you're in a club like this, there's going to be some really great people that are in leadership, and we're fortunate to have some of those people in our club.
Well, here's the last chance to get your question in, 812-638-4261, or tweet us at Ham Talk Live and give us a call and ask your question. And if not, we'll wrap things up here. And SMC Fest is a great opportunity to get some of this. If you're not going to travel to the Midwest, Huntsville's coming up here in a week, and there's going to be a big contesting forum there. I'll be down there. And I know Fred Regeniter, K4IU, from the deputy editor of the National Contest Journal, will be there. to talk about some stuff. And so there's some opportunities there. And there are other regional events, kind of like SMC Fest, that are around. So take a look at those. But tonight we're talking about operating from the black hole. So just wanted to get that in there. But we're going to check one more time for questions here. And then, Craig, we're going to let you get on your way here. But don't see anything here yet tonight. So any final comments here before we go?
No, but thank you very much for talking about SMC Fest and allowing a little plug there for the Society of Midwest Contesters. And we've got over 300 and some members, and we'd be glad to have more. But at the same time, if you're outside of what our geography, I'd welcome you to please encourage you to please join a contest club if you have that interest. I think you'll find it very helpful. And thanks, Neil, for giving us this opportunity. Appreciate it.
No problem at all. And I totally agree. When you can get some help, with, like you said, on the message boards or reflectors or whatever you have, and can get some support from people who've been there and done that, it makes a world of difference. So thank you for putting this on. Thank you for coming on the show and talking about it. And I look forward to having you on again soon.
Well, thank you, Neil. You have a nice evening. 73 to everybody.
All right, 7-3, Craig. And that is a wrap for this week's edition of Ham Talk Live. Thanks to my guest, Craig Thompson, K9CT, and everyone out there in cyberspace for listening in. And I invite you back next Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time when Steve Narducci, W9SN, and Fred Denon, WW4LL from BLoud.us will be here to talk about building a modest contest station. And for a list of our upcoming guests, visit hamtalklive.com. And if you like the show, please leave us a review on iTunes or wherever you listen. That helps others find us faster. So for now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375, and may the good DX be yours.